Hey everyone, it's Mel here, and welcome back to Blinky Blogs. Firstly, I'm going to apologise for the potentially bad camera work on this video. I'm filming sitting in front of my computer, and I'm actually filming on my computer because I have a feeling that I'm going to go on for a bit in this video, and I have lost my tripod, guys. This is a crisis. I had my tripod in my bag when I went to for my cruise, and it has gone walkabout. I don't know whether when they went through my bag to check it in onto the ship, and they saw my tripod and they took it out because they thought it was a weapon. I don't know whether I left it in my parents' bedroom in Kyneton. I've got no idea where it's gone. So anyway, it's not here at the moment, so I'm not using a tripod at the moment, but I still wanted to sit here and talk. This video, I have to be, honest and say I hate videos where people talk about their mental health and how bad things are for them, and I feel like it's sort of without sounding really horrible, I feel like it's sort of woe is me, get the violins out, kind of feel sorry for me type stuff, which is not what I want at all. I don't like people going and feeling sorry for me and, all that kind of stuff. But then again, one of the big parts about this channel for me is honesty and transparency. I have put it on, you are watching it on my private channel, my blog channel, mainly because I don't want this content on my blindness channel, because my blindness channel is all about education and awareness, and Blinky Blogs is more about my personal kind of life and things like that. Anyway, so mental health for me is something that I don't talk about. As I say, I'm not a woe is me, get the violins out type of person, so I don't like that kind of stuff, and I don't really talk about my mental health and things like that, because that's just not what a lot of people tend to do. That's not really in our culture here, talking about your mental health and the struggles that you have and things like that. It's just not what we do. I guess I'm going to almost say it's almost not very Australian to go talking about your mental health and everything. So that's why we have a lot of campaigns like Are You Okay, and things like that, because they are trying to raise awareness and make mental health something in this country that you can talk about, because I think at the moment it really isn't. And certainly myself personally, I can't stand talking about my mental health and all that sort of thing. But at the same time, I think it's important that I do talk about some of these things that are going on sort of in my mind, and explaining to you these things that are going on in my mind, and how things are affecting me and everything. And I think it is leading to why I'm not doing as many videos at the moment. It is leading to why I'm not putting as much effort into this channel in particular, but my other channel a little bit as well. So I guess 2 months ago, or nearly 3 months ago, it'll be 3 months on the 5th of May, I officially retired my guide dog. He had worked for me for 6 years and nearly 3 months, and the journey with my first guide dog was incredible. He saw me through massive changes in my life. He saw me through finishing high school. I actually got him the Monday after I finished school. I finished high school on Friday. I got him on Monday, and I actually did my last two VCE exams. So my last two Year 12 exams while I was in class, and I actually missed my school graduation because school graduation night was on the same night as taking our dogs home from class, and they had an outbreak of kennel cough, and I decided that I would prefer to take my dog home from class instead of leaving him at Guide Dogs where he was potentially going to be exposed to the kennel cough virus. So my dog saw me from leaving high school to in that journey in my life of figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life, and where I wanted to be. You know, we lived in 3 different places in the 6 years that I worked him. We lived with my parents for the first few years that we were together, and then we lived in Melbourne for 2 years, and then we moved here to Mildura about 18 months ago. And he saw me from the tail end, I suppose, of my teenage depression to living out of home for the first time, becoming an adult, becoming me, becoming what I wanted to be. And so the journey that we had together was really long and great, and we had so many adventures together and everything. And then I noticed a decline in his work, and I decided to retire him without really allowing Guide Dogs to assess him properly for retirement. And this is the first time I've actually admitted that publicly. I did not allow Guide Dogs to assess him properly because I stopped working him about a month before they came up and saw him, or saw me, and I just gave them the harness and said thanks and goodbye. Now, you've seen in other videos in the past how I go on about I don't need another guide dog, I don't want another guide dog, and I was adamant at the time that I didn't need or want another guide dog. I didn't think I was ready. I was overconfident with my cane skills. I was overconfident with my life balance of, what I do and everything. And I thought that I would survive. So, nearly 3 months have passed since I retired Darcy, and I am not coping. I have already seen Guide Dogs Victoria, and we are beginning to put the wheels in motion to figure out what to do. And when some decisions have been made regarding whether I apply for a new guide dog, whether they reassess Darcy, whatever, I will tell you all about that. But I have realised that retiring my dog, not letting them assess him, and not applying for a new dog straight away has been a huge, huge mistake. I have stopped going out on my own. I just can't do it anymore. I can't really go out on my own anymore. And that's not just because I don't have a guide dog and because I'm worried about my mobility skills, but it's been really hard for me to separate from my dog. I have fought myself about not taking him places. I have actually, asked for permission for him to go to some places that I go to frequently that he used to go to with me when he was a guide dog. I'm still allowed to take him to Vision Australia, I'm still allowed to take him to the hairdresser, I'm still allowed to take him to church. And I think the reason why I've asked all these places whether I can still take him with me is because I can't cope with the separation from him, which has been really hard. Trying to separate myself from him when all he wants to do, I guess, is lie in bed and sleep all day. The other thing that has made going out hard for me is I haven't felt confident with my mobility skills. When I first retired Darcy, I said, yep, I'm great, I'm fine with my mobility skills, I can use a cane, I can do all this stuff, I know my way around town in theory. And that was the problem, in theory. I do know my way around town, but I just struggle with the confidence to go to town with my cane. I struggle finding the energy to do that. I struggle finding the ability to do that. And also I've kind of, I guess, built a barrier to that by wanting to always take Darcy with me, but he's not allowed on the bus. So if I want to go somewhere in town that I have to go on the bus, and I don't go because I don't want to not take Darcy. And that's been the problem, has been I can't, I'm probably actually pretty good at, moving around in town and everything, and I know my way, and I have proved to mobility instructors, to myself, that I can move around Mildura with a cane, and I can move around places with a cane, and it is slower and it is harder, but I can't do it without my dog. I won't, there's that mental side of it again, of going out without my dog, because that's something that I've had for 6.5 years, and now that's been taken away from me. I have a lot of difficulty sort of getting used to that. So instead of getting out and about and doing things that I would ordinarily like to do on my own, I've become very reliant and dependent on friends and my support worker to go out. I would love to go out for a coffee sometimes, just to do something different, break the monotony of being at home. But I won't go unless I've got someone with me. I've started only going to work if I can get picked up, because once again, Darcy's not allowed on the bus, but I still can take him to work. So I only go to work if I can get picked up, and he's allowed in the taxis, but he's not allowed on the bus, so he can go to Vision Australia for reception and things like that. So I think that's been the hardest thing, is, and I don't like relying on my friends. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that, my friends especially, it's not their kind of, for want of a better word, job to, to have to come to my home and pick me up every time I want to go somewhere with them. They shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't be relying on them like I do, but I am, because I don't feel confident to do things anymore without my dog. So I guess that's where my mental health struggles have really come in the last few months, or few weeks actually, and it's really mostly hit me since we got back from Sydney 2 weeks ago, because I've sort of gone, well, I need to stop pretending, I suppose, that Darcy's still able to come into public places with me, and I need to sort of cut the apron strings, let him stay at home and get out and do things on my own, because I can do it. I just need to figure out a motivation of proving that to myself. And that's the hard part, is figuring out a way and a motivation of doing that. So that's the hard part, and that's what's taking me a lot of time to get that to work. Anyway, I've gone on way too long. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. I'm putting my headphones back on so I can turn the video off. And I'll see you all in the next video. And I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And I hope that some of you guys who have retired your dogs and are between dogs, or have been in this situation in the past or whatever, you know, sort of know what I'm talking about. And my advice, I suppose, would be really think long and hard before you retire a dog and don't apply for a new one, because I certainly won't be making this mistake again. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. And my computer's refusing to stop the video. That's rude. Stop the video. Stop. Why won't my video let me stop? Sorry everyone, it's stop. Stop. For some